Alright guys, this is Sean and welcome to Project Nano. And as you can see here, I've got a nice piece of live rock. I went down to the LFS this morning and found a 9.5 pound solid piece. This comes from the same distributor that gets the live rock I have in my Pico, and it's beautiful. Lights up real nice. And what I really like about it, since this is going to be a pretty much coral reef, it's got lots of place to place coral. So really cool piece of rock. Kind of pricey. At 9.5 pounds, I paid $60 for it, but I'd rather do this than trying to piece a couple pieces together. So what you see at the bottom of the tank there is actually gutter screen. Very cheap. I got it from Home Depot. And it's $1.87 for a whole roll. And a whole roll will probably take care of a few aquariums. So what I measured was that this thing is 11.5 inches wide and 8.5 inches deep from the front of the tank to the front of the sump area. So I just measured off 17 inches and then cut that in half and kind of overlapped them there in the center. So the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and place some live sand in there. So that's the next step, and I will check back in. Thanks for watching. Alright, so here we have the sand placed in. I'm going a little bit deep on the sand because I plan to put a goby and a pistol shrimp pairing in here for at least a couple of the creatures. But like I said, it's going to be mostly focused on coral. So for now, we are going to do just a natural cycle of the tank. So this one will take much longer than my Project Pico did, because I won't be using much of anything except live sand and live rock to stimulate the cycle. So next I'm going to mix up some salt water and add it. I did a slight modification to the tank here, just like my Project Pico. I went ahead and placed some tape over the slot so that water stays on the other side of the display tank, and the water in here becomes independent, until the overflow is activated. So that's going to create more water flow. And I do have the Rio Plus 800 pump that I can throw in here for more water flow if necessary, if the coral calls for that later. But for now, we're just going to stick with the stock pump, which is going to give us 158 GPH at the maximum setting, which it's set at. So just a couple of notes. I did have some difficulties inserting the pieces through the wall there. Apparently the hole wasn't drilled wide enough. So what I did was I pushed it in from the outside and just kind of turned the piece that goes through to widen it up a little bit, just to get whatever crud or whatever wasn't cut off of the hole. So we have the biometer there, we have the foam there, and I've got a nice cobalt heater that's going to give me the temperature as well. It's pretty accurate. And I've got the stock pump down in there. So next is just adding water. I'm leaving the compartment open for the skimmer at some point. So that's where we are. So see you guys back in a few minutes. Alright guys, here is the Project Nano filled with water. Since I taped up the front compartment, I went ahead and filled it first, but only halfway. Then I filled up the back compartment so as not to add pressure on the tape because I'm trying to keep them separated. And that seemed to work okay. I didn't see any signs of leaking in the back. So as long as the pressure stays right on both sides, I think that seal will hold up. So water should settle in the next day or two, and I'll go ahead and add brine shrimp at some point to get the cycle started. So that's where we are. Thank you for watching my video.